for the series finale between the Red Sox of Boston and the Braves of Atlanta. Let's get you the racetrack lineup for Chad Tracy and the Boston Red Sox, who got the 3-2 win yesterday to even the series. The hero was the 4-hole hitter. Wilson Contreras had a 2-run homer in the 8th that ultimately was the difference in the ball game. On the mound, making his 9th start of the season, number 66, Grant Holmes.
And of course, we know what Grant, he leads with his slider. His slider has been excellent this year, one of the best in baseball. We will certainly talk about it. 4-seam fastball, curveball, 2-seamer, changeup, cutter, all in the mix for Grant Holmes. And as we mentioned, a little bit of a lengthier outing I think would be helpful today. The Braves are in this run of 13 straight games in the bullpen. Speed up just a little bit.
How about your Ford Keys, partner?
We're taking a look at our Ford Keys today. First to strike here. One of the issues for Grant Holmes this year is that his first pitch strikes are actually down. And well below league average. He hadn't been like that through most of his career, so maybe getting back in the zone early. And we saw this Red Sox lineup, they can get a little bit aggressive, so be careful, but you want to be in the zone a little bit more. And then back in the zone, and then we're talking about the Atlanta Braves. They've been chasing a lot this homestand. That chase rate in the upper 30s right now, that is not who they've been all season. So a little bit of patience and make Brian Bayo throw you strikes.
And maybe why the offense has had a slight downturn here as of late, but still one of the best, if not the best, in baseball so far this season. Walt Weiss's crew 31-15. Chad Tracy and the Red Sox 19-26 coming into today's action. Left fielder Jarren Duran 1 for 7 with a double in the series, leading things off. And speaking of being in the zone, Grant couldn't be any more in the zone to get the party started. Your home plate umpire today is a longtime veteran in Hunter Wendelstedt.
Interesting guy. He's kind of middle of the road as far as some of the numbers that you look at with umpires. He has opened up the zone near the bottom and below quite a bit. And he has had 49 ABS challenges against him so far this year in 9 games. That is the second most in Major League Baseball. And you can see some of the overturns there. 33 total have been overturned.
0-2 pitch, right center and down. So Grant Holmes leaving the 2-seamer in there, and Duran makes him pay 1 on to lead off the ball game.
Back-to-back games where Jarren Duran is down 0-2 and ends up getting a base hit in an 0-2 count. Yesterday it was a double that he hit against Bryce Elder. He did a great job of pitching around it. And here again today to lead off this game, he gets an 0-2 pitch that he can handle.
And those are his only 2 hits of the series. He has been struggling this year, hitting below 200. But he's down at first base, and now Gasper. Gasper, one of those guys who has been part of both the Yankees and Red Sox organizations, something you used to never see. It's been a little more common over the last 5 years, but he was drafted by the Yankees back in 2018. Broke through a couple of years ago with the Red Sox at the major league level, and he's down here a ball and 2 strikes.
So we saw him catching yesterday. I'd asked about Connor Wong, who was kind of their second catcher. He rolled his ankle in their last series kind of badly, and so while he's not on the IL, they have not used him at all in this series so far.
And Narvaez back to his catching role today, and Gasper the DH. Swing and a miss. There's that excellent slider from Grant Holmes.
Well, this is what you get with Grant Holmes. It is an unbelievable finishing pitch for him. One of the best swing and miss sliders in baseball right now, and it's a good one, well executed just outside the zone.
Batting third, right fielder Wilyer Abreu. And as CJ mentioned, it would be great to get some length today from Grant Holmes, given the situation that the Braves have been battling in the bullpen, and it's been a tap dance for Walt Weiss. So if Holmes could give you 6, that would be a big boost on this Sunday.
Yeah, better spot now, obviously, because of yesterday, not necessarily having to use a lot of your bullpen. I almost felt bad for Bryce Elder, right? If the bullpen was a little bit more rested, he's probably out of that game earlier and doesn't give up that home run that ultimately ended up winning the Boston Red Sox the game in the 8th.
Ozzie over on a second. That's the only one they'll get. And that leads us to our racetrack defense. Zokar in left. Remember, he's been in right the last couple of games, but Yastrzemski is out there with a righty on the mound. And Mateo getting the start at short today.
About a non-one-run game. It was a 3-2 in game 1, 3-2 in game 2. Oh, Braves blowout. Feel like it's been a minute.
And both games had a lot of drama. Friday in 10 innings with the Braves walking it off on the Yastrzemski double to left center, and yesterday that homer by Contreras in the 8th, and then the Braves loaded the bases in the bottom of the 9th, but ultimately Aroldis Chapman was able to get out of it. We were still talking about that. Chapman played in the game before today's contest. That was really an unbelievable effort.
It was, and off the bat so hard from Hassan Kim, looked like that was going to be a decent chance to be a base hit, but then after it hit Aroldis Chapman, you felt even better about his chances of getting to first base and at least the game being tied.
But he recovered and made the play, and Ozzie makes the play here to end the top of the 1st. Bravo's coming up. Let's get you the lineup for Walt Weiss, presented by Racetrack. And Drake Baldwin, as we told you in our show open, he's been tremendous. Homer in game 1, homer in game 2 of this series. He leads off again here in game 3. And he's trying to disrupt the birthday boy, Brian Bayo, 27th birthday today as he gets the baseball.
Yeah, no presents for Brian Bayo today. You can see the overall numbers. The last 2, though, have been a lot better, and that is when they have used an opener. This guy's always had a really good changeup. Has added a cutter, good 2-seam fastball as well.
Baldwin aggressive on the first pitch. But he bounces out to Meyer. Defense brought to you by Racetrack. Duran, Rafaela, and Abreu. So the same outfield, a little bit different on the infield. Sogard, who was called up when Trevor Story went on the IL, he gets the start at third today, and Narvaez back behind the plate.
What's interesting is that they signed Isaiah Kiner-Falefa this offseason, gave him about $6 million, I believe, and then they have a need, and it's Sogard that gets called up from the minor leagues to get the opportunity. It almost seems like he doesn't fit. They had this weird winter again where they didn't get the big infielder they wanted, and then they just brought in a bunch. They gave him a 1-year deal. They traded for 3 infielders, and they're still working on trying to find production. But the state of this team right now, it almost seems like a waste to have a $6 million backup infielder if you're not going to use him.
And we talked the other day about them losing Alex Bregman and him going to the Cubs, and talking with some of their media members before the game. Feel like Bregman, not only what he brings on the field, but in that clubhouse, a lot of their young guys, they could really use him.
Yeah, no doubt. At some point, though, you do have to kind of cut the cord, is the phrase that we use with younger players. His impact definitely was felt. Sooner or later, you got to do it on your own.
Bayo falling behind Ozzie, 3-0.
When you get an analytics heavy front office like they have here in Boston, they put no value into that. And you're trying to put a contract together and really think about, and I get it, it's X's and O's, and sometimes this can be a harsh game. But players will tell you, coaches will tell you that there are some values that you cannot put a dollar sign on, that you kind of have to if you want to retain the player.
Ozzie out to right field. 1-out single on a 3-1 pitch.
Good to see for Ozzie. Been a little bit of a mini slump here. First hit for him on the homestand. And he stays on that 2-seam fastball very nicely.
And remember, for the first 6 weeks of the season, Ozzie was right around the top of Major League Baseball for the most hits. But that hit right there breaking an 0 for 24 slump for Albies. And now Matt Olson 0 for 8 on the series.
PA letting us know that was the second longest hitless streak of Ozzie's career, and of course he had that on-base streak going right for a long time. Doesn't feel like he's been streaky, but good to see that streak come to an end. And good to see they gave the microphone to Mitch George today.
Yeah, I was talking with Mike Stamus, who was trying to do the announcements yesterday, playing sick. He's got something going on with his throat, and it was tough for him to get through the ball game yesterday, but he made it.
Gamer, absolute gamer, plowing through. That was George Burns doing the announcements yesterday. Sounded like he had about 15 cigars.
Moose is the best. Long time official scorer here with the Atlanta Braves. Two-one coming to Matteo. Toyota Trends feature. The Red Sox, after a win this year, 7-11, right around where they have been all season. But the Braves, after a loss, 11-3, really impressive bounce back style.
And that's why so far they're off to the great start that they're off to. Really haven't felt any kind of losing streaks that have been prolonged at all. And still only the one series loss, right?
Yes.
So an opportunity to win another and kind of keep that whole situation intact.
Yeah, this is the 16th series of the season for Walt's group. 13-1-1. The only series loss that last road trip in Seattle. Payoff pitch, and it is a ball. Ozzie had taken off. He can walk the rest of the way. And Atlanta trying for a first inning rally.
So part of the reason that they were using an opener with Brian Bale was some of the issues that he has had with left-handed hitters. 349, OPS is over 1,000. So it almost makes no sense that they didn't use an opener today based on the way that this lineup is stacked, where you have Baldwin, Ozzie, Matt Olson, and now Michael Harris. I'm not sure why they changed their mind. It worked, and now they went back to this. We'll take it.
CJ mentioned the numbers, but the first 6 outings for Bayo this year were starts. He had a 9.12 ERA. So they said, all right, let's put an opener in front of him. Last 2 outings after that opener went 13 1/3, only 2 runs given up. So they move him back into the rotation today.
Strikeouts to walks were really good over those 2 games. 12 strikeouts, just 2 walks.
Yeah, I just figured for them the formula was working. Stick with it, especially as you said, with this lineup as good as it is.
And those are the numbers you're talking about. So technically we say as a reliever, even though it was an opener and he was the bulk guy, there was quite a difference. You always wonder when you go through that. We saw with Chase Dollander, right, with the Colorado Rockies. Is it a confidence thing? Is it just a comfort level? But at some point everybody does have to go back to the rotation too. They'd like to get that guy back in the rotation. Garrett Crochet on the IL right now.
Yeah, he's been dealing with a shoulder issue since late April. Also had Sonny Gray dealing with a hamstring injury. 2-2 here on the changeup. But they've got 2 good young arms in Connolly early and Peyton Tolley, a pair of lefties that the Braves saw in games 1 and 2 of this series. Both were pretty impressive. Tolley yesterday went 8 before turning it over to Aroldis Chapman. Now he can have a dig me day over there on this Sunday.
You love the dig me day. What's your version of a dig me day look like? You have a great walk-off call?
And then we have the day off the next day, and I just
in Miami maybe on the beach.
Hot bubble bath and go down to the beach for a little bit or something.
Everybody deserves a dig me day.
Michael hit that a ton, but well foul. Here comes another 2-2. Bayo gives up the single to Ozzie, walks Olson, now a full count to Harris. That one squirts foul.
It's a big pitch. 3-2 changeup. Kind of walk, got a couple of guys on right now, and he executed it pretty well. And you do wonder if he can do that twice in a row with the issues that he has had with left-handed hitters.
Another 3-2 to Harris. Bouncer to second. There's one. Michael beats it out. And they're at the corners with 2 away.
Credit to Brian Bayo. He did execute that changeup really well back to Michael Harris. The location was good. Luckily, he chopped it enough. Every step matters. Every second matters. And Michael just barely beats it.
And gives a chance here to Austin Riley. 6 homers, 25 driven in for the Braves third baseman this season.
Some good history here for Austin Riley. 5 for 9 against Brian Bayo, all singles. 2 of those came last year.
Yeah, Bayo had his worst start of 2025 against the Braves at Fenway. 7 runs, 10 hits on May 18th last year. Now he starts May 17th this year against Atlanta. As I said, on his 27th birthday. And of those 10 hits that he gave up to the Braves last year, 9 of them were singles. So it was kind of death by paper cut for Bayo at Fenway against Atlanta.
Take one right here.
Anything to get that runner Ozzie home from third here. Riley lifts it in the air to deep left center. Kiss that baby goodbye.
For a single when you can get a home run from Austin Riley. Pretty much the same pitch he saw to start the at-bat. Cutter right down the middle, and you've heard me say it many times, I am not a fan of the cutter inside the zone. It is a very hittable pitch. He gave Austin Riley 2 of them, and he regrets it.
That thing was touched. I was talking with their booth before the game, CJ, and they were saying for Bayo, his success is on that 2-seamer. When he has struggled this year, he has left the cutter over the heart of the plate, and boom, it dooms Bayo right there.
It's a crutch pitch for guys, because if you're fastball, you're not feeling it. When you think movement, it's a little bit off my fastball, but it is not a good contact pitch. For me, I say it all the time. It's black it off. It's a purpose pitch to some degree. Maybe you try to get some weak contact, but you're also just trying to show a different side of the plate, really, to kind of run back in, right? Cutter off the plate, right on right, 2-seam in. I'm with you. It's just sometimes it's happened a lot to a lot of pitchers. Start to throw a cutter, you fall in love with the cutter, and then you use it too much.
Such a fine line. If he executes a better pitch and gets Riley, we're headed to the second. It's scoreless. Instead, it's 3-0. Bayo is laboring. And now here's Dom Smith awaiting a 1-1 pitch. There's that 2-seamer that for the most part has been his success throughout his career in inducing a lot of ground balls. Five hits on the homestand for Dom Smith, including that 4-hit game against the Cubs on Tuesday. And another full count for Bayo.
So even though it's a bad miss, you can see the movement. When a pitch is live, it's why it's been his best pitch. The location will matter. Now he's done a nice job locating the changeup to lefties, especially to Michael. And he did it on a 3-2 count twice. We'll see if he tries to do it to Dom.
That was the 30th pitch of the inning. He's going to get out of it, but the damage is done courtesy of Austin Riley.
431 feet. Austin Riley has been heating up, and it is warm here today. A little hotter for Austin Riley.
See that kiddo with the glasses there on his dad's lap. That was the giveaway today on Kids Day here at the ballpark. And part of the festivities, the kids got to go out, meet Wiley, and Wiley taught them how to keep score. They taught Wiley how to use utensils when he eats. It was a give and take relationship.
Everybody's got something to learn.
Right field off the bat of Rafaela. Yastrzemski on the track. Wiley, how was it with the kiddos today?
We had a good time, Brandon. I'll be honest. It was hot, and there was a lot of running around for yours. A lot of running around for yours truly, and I got pretty sweaty, quite honestly.
So he came up to the booth and he was really sweaty. I was like, "Would you run here?"
It was tough, man. It was tough out there, but they were good, and I'm still getting comfortable with utensils. I'm gonna stick with finger food and maybe a fork and knife meal once every couple days.
Pizza, hot dogs, that's the way to go. Lobster roll.
Chicken fingers, lobster roll.
Charcuterie board.
That's right.
CJ's Bagels.
Big bagel day today. Thanks to Bryce Elder and the quickness of that game yesterday. That helped a little bit. I was still up till about 12:30.
I felt guilty. CJ and I walked to our cars together after the game, and I said, bagels tomorrow because it's become an expected thing. And he's like, well, yeah, the game was quick enough. I guess I'll do it. I'm sorry you were up till after midnight.
I mean, I don't know about you. It is hard to unwind after games, especially a game like that, and the way that this series has been. So it was fine. Give me a little time to spend with my dog, who been a little more lonely. Megan was out of town. She's now back. And so the dog will always have somebody home, which is nice. But she didn't do too great when nobody's in the house.
Yeah, I understand that. That was a quick game last night. 2:06. They'll check down. He went, says Nick Lentz. 2-2.
Another early slider whiff here for Bryce Elder. It's a good call.
They'll check down. Did not go. Our Georgia Natural Gas Greener Life impact player is Grant Holmes, and talking CJ about that pitch, the slider.
Second best whiff rate in baseball with at least 200 sliders thrown so far this season. There's our guy, Grant Holmes. League average sits around 33%, to give you an idea of some context, which makes what Chase Burns is doing even more impressive. That half of the sliders that big leaguers swing at, they miss. But our guy is not too far behind. And we know Dylan Cease, of course, has had one of the best sliders in baseball over the course of his career. We don't exaggerate here. We say he's got a good slider. We mean it.
And right on cue, it's the slider that takes care of Meyer.
And there was that balance, right? Curveball slider for a little while with Grant Holmes, but the slider really has emerged as the best of the group.
And that hair flopping.
It's a beautiful thing of beauty right there. Swing and miss, and there goes the flow.
There's a couple of road trips ago that Grant was in the back of the bus after the game, and I don't know if you were in this conversation, CJ, but Darren was asking him, Darren O'Day, about how do you keep your hair like that? He said, oh, the magic is a product called Cantu that he gets on Amazon. Shea butter curling cream, but the brand is Cantu, and he says it increases the moisture and the styling control, and that's what makes that pop out there.
Curling activator, nice.
It's working for him today. But I just think on a day like today, it's our first day here in Atlanta that feels like summer has arrived. 86. It's got to be a little hot under that cap.
You would think so. But he loves it. He has stuck with it for a long time, since certainly we have known him. It is fun to look at those old draft videos of him when he didn't have the hair.
He looks like a completely different human being. Yeah, that guy's got to be a little warm.
He needs a little curling activation.
Yeah, he needs some Cantu.
Yep.
Grant Holmes looking for a 1-2-3 top of the second. And he's got it. He can take those beautiful locks to the dugout and get some shade. You are locked into Hyundai Sunday here on Braves Vision. Red Sox in town. Rubber game of the series. Off to a good start. Riley with a 3-run homer in the first. And now we head to the bottom of the second. A lot of kiddos here for Kids Day on this sunny Sunday afternoon. Mateo Yastrzemski, Zokar here for Atlanta.
Kind of timed it perfect, right, with the glasses giveaway on a really sunny and one of the warmer days we've had so far this season.
Yeah, this might be the warmest so far this year at Truist Park. What's going on here? Do we have a pitch comm issue?
Seemed like it.
There's the glasses that were given away.
Those are not bad at all.
I like those. Reminiscent of the old Oakley glasses that were popular when we were younger.
That's right. Well, and they went through a phase where they got smaller for a while and then they got bigger again. That kid is extremely happy.
It's about living your best life. It's right on the doorstep of summer. School's getting let out.
Oh, so we get a pitch clock violation there?
The board does say 1-0. If Hunter Wendelstedt signaled it, he must have. I missed him.
All right, what's the longest a kid can hold on to those glasses? I mean, they're going to go hard. Like, is somebody wearing those next summer?
No
chance.
I mean, I say 50% don't make it to Tuesday, right?
Things can get a little aggressive.
Like they get stepped on, they get left in a seat.
So I'm one of the few areas in which I am particularly proud of is I am still sporting the same pair of Oakleys that I got around 2011.
That's a good run. I mean, that's 15 years.
Yeah. I don't wear them a lot, but I always have them with me.
Have to
replace the lenses once, which was not easy to do because they were so out of date.
Narvaez is going to challenge. This one is really, really close.
The call has been changed to a strike.
And Narvaez has not been great back there. 8 for 18. That's 44% coming into today for the ABS challenges. Your league average for your catchers is around 60%. Make it 50 now challenges for Hunter Wendelstedt.
And a 3-2 pitch coming to Mateo. Another one inside there. He fouls it back. Talked about Hunter Wendelstedt, how long he's been around. 1998. That's how long he's been upping at the major league level. Wonder if he has his same pair of glasses since '98. He missed almost all of last year to Wendelstedt with a head injury. Really scary incident April of last year. 100-mile-per-hour foul ball during a Mets Twins game. Hit him in the left ear. He actually, part of the ear got kind of ripped off. He had a 2-hour surgery to repair it, but it was a really bad concussion. So he needed the rest of the year to recover at his home in Louisiana and then return to action this season. Good to have him back. Mateo rips this to left field. All the way to the wall. It's a double for the Braves shortstop.
It's impressive for Mateo to be able to keep that ball fair, and he did it by quite a bit. It was the same pitch 3 times in a row. The two-seam fastball in off the plate. All of them were balls. All of them would have been ball 4. You certainly take the double instead. But as that ball was coming in on your hands with pretty good velocity at 95, it can be difficult at times to get the barrel to it, but he made it look easy.
So it worked out well that Narvaez challenged. Instead of a walk, it's a double. And now Yastrzemski to the plate. Friday night's hero, and to do it against the Boston Red Sox obviously added a lot to it because his grandfather, of course, Carl Yastrzemski, the great Hall of Famer, the 18-time All-Star for the Boston Red Sox. But Yaz always thought of the Braves as his National League team, even though he obviously grew up cheering for the Red Sox in the Boston area. It was a special night for him on Friday. 1-2. Ground ball toward the middle. Diving stop, but nowhere to go with it. And the runners are at the corners.
It's impressive from Monasterio to get to that baseball. He saves a run here, at least in the short term. He was going to have no chance to get Mike Yastrzemski off the bat. It looked like this was ticketed for the outfield and was going to be an RBI with the great speed you have from Mateo, but ranging far to his left to be able to knock that baseball down. Yes, continues the good homestand.
Yeah, he has really turned a corner, has Mike Yastrzemski, and has been tremendous here versus the Cubs and Red Sox this week at Truist Park. Azokar has had a good series with a couple of doubles yesterday.
See if you can get that little cutter and poke it through the right side. All kinds of room over there with the eyes being held.
Let's take a look at our Who's Got the Sauce, brought to you by Zaxby's. Whoever's been hitting ninth for the Braves has had the sauce.
I mean, a 903 OPS from your 9-hole would be great if you could hold anything close to that through the entire season.
Zokar getting the nod in the 9-hole today, and he's ahead here 3-0. The bases are loaded, nobody out. Baldwin in the top of the order coming up.
So blown away by what I saw, that number there, that 903. Just to give you an idea, last year the Brewers led baseball with the highest OPS out of the 9-hole. It was 731.
That's pretty incredible, the production from the bottom of the order this year for Atlanta. A quick message right here from Zaxby's.
Get Zaxby's Fingers and Wings in lemon pepper, garlic parm, and Nashville hot. Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
I think for Chad Tracy, this is your nightmare scenario. Bayo has been struggling as a starter. CJ, he's thrown 45 pitches. He's only recorded 3 outs.
Yep, not ideal for them at all right now, and probably regretting not using an opener today. Nothing you can do about it. And then also the conversation about where you go pitch-wise, right? Drake Baldwin had gotten a 2-seam fastball in his first at-bat. He hit that ground ball to the right side. You really can't repeat on him too often. You don't want him throwing that cutter in the zone because it could be 4 more runs if you make the mistake. So perhaps that changeup, we'll see.
You can see Narvaez considered challenging there, but does not. It's only the second season at the major league level for Drake Baldwin, but probably the only thing he hasn't accomplished yet is a grand slam.
Let's go, BG. I love it. I'm looking at his bases loaded numbers. He is 9 for 15. That's a 600 batting average.
But hasn't hit one over the wall yet.
He went 8 for 10 last year with the bases loaded. Pretty comfortable. 1 for 7 so far. Excuse me, 1 for 5 so far this year.
Hitters count 3-1, and there's nowhere to put it. No action yet in that Red Sox bullpen. 50th pitch here for Bayo. And he has walked in a run. It is 4-0. Still nobody out.
Remember when the guys a couple of days ago were talking about the at-bats with runners on compared to when they're not on? Part of that for Drake Baldwin was him opening the zone more, right? Getting aggressive, kind of going for it. That is a much more concentrated at bat. You know he's sniffing out multiple RBIs, but yet he lays off of those borderline pitches that were outside of the zone.
That is 9 of the last 10 that have missed for Bayo. And even the one that was a strike, Drake swung, but it wasn't in the zone. So Bayo is really out of sorts here for Boston. He does get Ozzie to swing there to even the count. Curveball, 1-2. Ozzie singled and scored last inning on the Riley 3-run homer. Atlanta trying to throw a knockout punch here early in the decisive game 3 of this series. Bayo trying to work his way out of trouble in his 5th big league season now out of the Dominican Republic. 1-2 to Ozzie. Ozzie lifts it in the air. Shallow left center. And not deep enough to score Yastrzemski. But now you've got Olsen and Harris coming up next for Atlanta. Nine grand slams in Olsen's career. Bouncer to first. Stepping on the bag. That's the only out they'll get. Yastrzemski scores 5-0.
You mentioned some of the experience for Wilson Contreras. An interesting decision. You could have gotten the lead runner at second at least and taken another one out of scoring position with Matt Olson running. Then maybe you have a shot. Probably not. But either way, we know Matt Olson is as an aggressive as a thrower defensively as there is in baseball. He makes that play at second. But for Contreras, the comfort level not there. And that means another runner potentially scoring on a base hit.
A longtime catcher who switched over to first base last year with the Cardinals. And Harris puts it on the ground to Meyer, and that will end things. But the Braves got 3 in the first. They get 2 more in the second.
Curly-headed wonder Grant Holmes has tossed a couple of scoreless innings so far this afternoon. Braves have not lost a home series yet this year, and they're in good position for this rubber game. Now, guys, we talk about how pitchers are always tinkering, how they want to attack batters, trying to be unpredictable. Well, how about this anecdote from his last start Tuesday night against Chicago? I had a chance to talk to Drake Baldwin, and Grant threw a right-on-right changeup to Dansby Swanson, and Drake said the next day Dansby came back and asked, was that a changeup he threw me? And Drake said, oh, yeah. He said, I went back and looked at the report, and Dansby said, that wasn't even on the report. It was the first changeup he'd thrown to a right-handed hitter in over a month. And, you know, CJ, that's just kind of the nature of the game nowadays. It's so unpredictable.
And you want to be because there's so much data out there, and you do, I think, I'll say get concerned, but it's in the back of your mind, right? The trends that you have, everybody is aware of them. Can you catch a hitter off guard by doing something different? And it's been kind of that homestand where we've seen it, right? Remember, Bryce Elder, we saw him throw 2 cutters to righties. Hadn't done that all year, right? So there's picking your spots if you're confident against the right hitter of giving him a little surprise. And you like when a hitter says that back to you because you know that, okay, good. It worked a little bit. I got in his head when I felt like I needed to.
I think it's probably key. Obviously, stick to your bread and butter, so don't go totally away from it, but just enough to keep him thinking. Maybe he will do something different here.
You want it in the report, I think. Every once in a while, you might see the right-on-right changeup.
Lined out to left. This is a tough one. What a play! Azokar diving down and taking it right off the top of the grass. That is going to be our CarShield defensive play of the game.
I got to tell you, from our angle, as I saw him going for it, I'm like, ooh, I don't think you're going to get there. Don't do it. It could be a problem. And Jose Azokar said, no problem for me. That is a tremendous catch for him out and left. Wow.
And that ball had some English on it. It was knuckling a bit, and it dove quick.
And that's what you worry about, right? The one with a little bit of topspin, it gets past him, especially its left field corner. Nobody's going to be there to help you. And even with a guy like Narvaez running, it's probably an easy 3.
A really good showing here at Truist Park this week for Jose Azokar. Again, getting this time and this opportunity because of the hamstring injury to that man, Ronald Acuna Jr. Azokar's nickname, by the way, is Sugar because the Spanish translation of his name sounds like sugar. Sweet play out there.
Very nice. It was a sweet play.
Tip your servers. 1-2 slider. Swing and a miss. Sogard is down. 3 strikeouts for Holmes.
And again, not surprising on that really good slider. This one, though, in the zone, right? He's not going for chase. He is going right at Sogard for the punch out. Actually, as you said that, I don't know if you ever saw it, there was a movie called Sugar that followed, it was, fiction, but followed the plight of a Dominican baseball player trying to get to the big leagues, didn't make it. So it really touched on the personal side. It was good. Back in 2008. Not sure if it's still on Netflix or not, but I watched it years ago.
Just say I've never heard of that one. I'm sure Wiley has seen it.
I saw it when it came out.
Oh, check you out.
Wiley, you were at the premiere. You were the premiere, right? It was just you.
Yeah.
Mr. Sugar attending Sugar.
No, it was really good, though. He ended up in Iowa, I think, or something like that, coming from the Dominican. It honestly shed a whole different light on what that experience is like coming from abroad and trying to adjust not just to baseball in the U.S., but life.
Yeah.
Agreed. And I've said it a bunch of times. I didn't play winter ball until I was 38 years old, and I wish I would have done it when I was 21. Just the experience for that exact reason.
This one is going to plug the gap. It splits between Azokar and Harris. Duran can run like the wind. He led the American League in triples the last 2 years, but he'll stop at second with a double.
All right, so I'm just going to throw this out there. You get ahead of Jarren Duran 0-2, don't throw him a strike. It's 3 back-to-back days. All 3 hits that he's had in this series that you mentioned have been 0-2. First at bat, a single. That one 0-2 for the double, and the leadoff double yesterday on an 0-2 count. Give him a chance to get himself out.
Now Holmes deals to Mickey Gasper, who he struck out in the first. It looks like Holmes is going to keep the Red Sox off the board. There's Sugar out there and left. Had a sweet top of the third. 5-0 Atlanta. There's today's Kids Club member of the game, Declan from Cumming, Georgia. 8 years old. Favorite player is Ronald Acuna Jr. His favorite part about going to Braves games, being able to watch the Braves in person like he's doing today with the family. So congrats to Declan, today's Kids Club member of the game.
And based on all that energy, I'll guess his favorite food is also sugar.
Yes, I'm sure he's had plenty. I always say, and I'm not a parent, you are, if I'm at the ballpark, if I've got friends, kids, nieces, nephews, all bets are off when you're at a sporting event.
100%.
Just let it ride. Deal with the consequences later. Riley put this foul ball just to the right of our booth. We don't get them up here very often. Look at all these kids chomping on the cotton candy, the Dippin' Dots.
Shades out. Somebody's ready for a foul ball.
Hopeful. Riley had a long 3-run homer back in the first. It got the scoring started for Atlanta. He's down 0-2 here. He rips it right center field, but it's going to be caught by Rafaela.
Obviously, the home run is the most exciting, but that's encouraging as well. That's over 100 miles an hour to the opposite field. Tells you his swing is in a good place, and we have seen it all homestand. That's 0-2 contact at better than 100.
Bayo is settled in here somewhat. He's just over 60 pitches now. Dom Smith was with the Red Sox previously in his career. He bounces out to Meyer. 2 down. Here's a quick message from Delta.
From Braves country to the world. Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
Mateo started last inning with a double and came around to score. Well, Bayo threw 30 pitches in the first, 27 in the second, but just 7 here in a 1-2-3 third. Braves won 3-2 Friday. Boston won 3-2 yesterday, and that leads us to our Engineered to Win feature presented by Range Rover Sport. Last 3 seasons, what this means when the Braves and Red Sox have played here at this park, there have been a lot of low-scoring games.
Yeah, really well-pitched games. Kind of surprising when you think about these two teams and generally who they've been over the last few years. They've been good teams, competitive teams with good offenses, but not in this ballpark.
5 runs today, thankfully all of them for the home team. That man did his job yesterday. Peyton Tolley, the lefty for Boston. He pitched to Jim through 8 innings. Holmes falling behind 3-1. 2 hits so far for the Red Sox, both by the leadoff man Jarren Duran. A single in the first, a double in the third. Nobody else has a hit off Holmes yet. And no hit here. Can of corn for Mateo.
It's nice location on the fastball. Again, these guys are aware of the slider. Abreu didn't get it that inning. Got a couple of changes in that bat, I should say. A couple of changeups, and then a really nice, well located behind in the count up and in fastball. You do want to have that ability to get outs with your fastball when you're behind. It's one thing if you pitch backwards, you can go for some chase, but to throw it in the zone to a good hitter is a good sign for Grant.
Remember Grant's last outing Tuesday against the Cubs, and we discussed it briefly earlier, but he was going strong and then ran into some command issues and only ended up lasting 4 innings. Good so far today. Contreras right down the line. He's going to head for second. And the tag is late. It is a double for Wilson Contreras.
I don't know how he kept that ball fair. I mean, it was just barely over the bag. Nothing Austin Riley could do about it. A two-seam fastball here running in, kind of inner third. Gets the ground ball that he wants, but look at this thing just hugged the line.
And a head-first slide just ahead of Ozzy's tag, and here is Rafaela. Rafaela, we talked about his great defense in center field, him being a Gold Glover and also a guy who plays good infield, but they've made him full-time in the outfield now. And he grew up in a family of Braves fans from Curacao. They grew up watching Andrew Jones back on TBS during the heyday, and then of course Ozzy Albies also from there, so those families all know each other. Tight-knit community there in Curacao. And Rafaela's middle name is actually Chipper, after Chipper Jones, because his mom played third base on her softball team, so she was fond of Chipper. And so it is Cedon Chipper Rafaela.
The impact of Ted Turner and TBS knows no bounds. I mean, it's really to think about things like that. We talk about, of course, the fans we see all over the country, but that's not what happens.
I remember when they would do stories when Andrew was starting to become a star with the Braves, and TBS took over Curacao. I mean, they would, not every house had it, but they would find somewhere that had it. They would all gather around, watch Andrew Jones with pride, and all became fans of the Braves. And the Rafaela family was part of that.
And you assume for Rafaela, right, that he grows up a Braves fan because of it, and the team that he would want to have played for if he had his own choice. Doesn't always work that way, but maybe someday.
He did say that he was fond of Boston. He liked Manny Ramirez.
Oh, okay.
And he liked Dustin Pedroia. That was his favorite defender.
You go against your mother like that.
So I know, right? So the Red Sox were his American League team. The Braves were his National League team. But Mom was a big fan of the Braves and Chipper. Long at bat here. 8 pitches, and Rafaela earns a walk. Hey, don't miss a moment this season with Braves.tv. Stream the entire season the rest of the way for just under $80. Watch games at home. You can do it on the go. Stay connected all year long. Visit Braves.tv for details.
Let's hope that walk that you really didn't want to see right there for Grant Holmes kind of sets up a double play that he can execute on. And all of a sudden he's missed here a couple of batters. The first pitch strikes that we talked about at the beginning of this game. He had gotten off to a nice start. 9 for 14, 64%. That's actually the highest rate, or would be the highest rate of his season so far. But I think for Drake, recognizing what's going on. Remember, there's been, we talked about this last time, one inning that seems to have been an issue for Grant Holmes in most of his outings this year. The rest of them seem to be good. Probably the most famous one was in Colorado, as the bat first, cruises for a few more after that. Drake does not want to see this turn into one of those innings.
And Tuesday against the Cubs, it was the 5th inning. He was great through 4 and then ran into trouble. Or rather, sorry, it was the 4th inning against the Cubs, not the 5th. It was the 4th where he had his issues. So trying to get out of the 4th here. Long run. Who's going to take it? Well, both reached up, and Riley caught it.
So if at any point Mateo calls for that ball, it's his. Now again, these guys aren't out there together a lot. You see Austin Riley coming back and wanted to talk about what communication, if any, took place, whether or not he didn't hear him, because it's an easier angle for Mateo. But the ball is coming down kind of fast. So again, it's just a matter of somebody said something, but either way you get the out.
Crisis averted.
And a good meeting by Drake. It worked out well. We talk about pitching coaches and picking their spots and give them a little credit when the pitcher then gets an out with the next batter.
And then Monasterio rolls it to Mateo, and just like that, a couple pitches later, the side is retired.
When an illness.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Truist. Sunday afternoon at Truist Park, 5-0 Braves. After this, Bravos hit the road down to Miami for 4. Kind of an unusual week. It's a one-stop road trip, then back home to take on the Nationals for 3, and then right back on the road to face the Red Sox and then the Reds.
After that 3-city trip that we just had, to have just the shortened kind of 1-city trip, 4 days in Miami, those always feel a little bit weird.
Yastrzemski puts it high in the air to right. It's all the way at the wall, and it's out of here. Sunday brunch for 1 at the Chop House for Yastrzemski.
We knew it was just going to be a matter of time for Mike Yastrzemski. That time is now. Again, the great homestand continuing. Curveball down and in. It's just a matter of whether or not it was going to have enough distance. It had plenty of height. And a little birthday present for Brian Bayo with run number 6.
Yeah, Bayo's not having a good 27th. Now a bunt laid down by Azokar, and it's a single. What a beauty. What a series he continues to have.
That is textbook from Azokar. You get the home run, you have some disruption. Can you catch a team napping here a little bit? And he did. A beautiful bunt. Sogard's got no chance. It's been fun to watch. Really smart idea. Always looks smarter when you execute it well.
Laid it down perfectly, and now you go back to the top of the order. But Mike Yastrzemski's grandfather is still alive, 86, Carl Yastrzemski. He's got to be watching this saying, really, against my team, grandson? You're doing this?
That's when you're going to get hot.
That's been great to see. And yeah, such a good guy. Walt was singing his praises on Friday after the walk-off. Just about, he is all about winning, all about team.
I like the phrase that he used, though, right? He said, well, everybody wants to win. Everybody says they want to win. And it's true. But there's something extra about the way that this guy goes about his business every single day that confirms that really is all it's about.
And he said that's one of the things that attracted him. As the ball gets far away, had Azokar seen that earlier, he would have gone to second. It's odd how that all unfolded there.
Was that on an exchange?
Yeah, I think it was. To see if we can get another peek at it.
Did it hit Drake? Oh,
it hit the bat.
Oh, Shin-Soo Choo, if you remember from the postseason back, what was that, 18, 17? No, earlier than that. It was like 15. But that ball is alive and in play as long as there was no intent whatsoever, and certainly wasn't by Drake Baldwin. You never see it, and it happened in the postseason in Toronto between the Texas Rangers and the Blue Jays, and that ball was live.
Well, let's go back. Let's see if we can remember what year that was.
So I believe that was the same series where you had the big bat flip from Jose Bautista.
That one pops out of the glove of Narvaez, so still life for Baldwin. '15. You were correct. You got there. Full count now.
The difference there we talked about with Drake Baldwin, that at bat with the bases loaded, had a couple of those similar changeups, let him go by. And not to say that there's anything wrong, good, bad, or indifferent between them, but a little bit more aggressive on that one in a 3-2 with just a runner at first.
8th pitch of the at bat. Baldwin puts it in the air, deep to left center, on the track and at the wall. It is caught by Duran. Zokar had started to move. He goes back to first base.
It's impressive, even though it ends up being an out for Drake Baldwin. The way that he could drive this baseball, it's 380 feet on a backdoor curveball. It's a good pop.
Especially with how high he hit that out to left center. Baldwin just missing his 3rd homer of the series. Zokar sliding back in. Ozzie gives it a ride out there. This one not as far. 2 down now in the bottom of the 4th. Zokar, though, sneaks into second base. Well, he was ready. And Duran a little casual, and just casual enough for Zokar to jump up 90 feet.
This is what advanced scouting will do for you, right? It's one thing when you saw the one that was deep to the wall. He had to be at second base. That made sense. You want to score if that ball gets down. I put my head down. I think there's no chance that he was tagging here. But having an idea of saying a routine pop-up, perhaps this guy has done it before, be aggressive, be ready, and Jose Zokar was. Wow. That'll drive a manager crazy on the other side. And Bayo, for that matter.
Now Olsen, base knock to the outfield. You can make it 7-0 here. But Matt's going to ground to Meyer to end the inning. Yastrzemski, though, a solo shot. It is all Bravos through 4.
A beautiful thing here for Mike Yastrzemski, 344 feet. And look at that mustache, a thing of beauty.
8 years. Welcome back to Truist Park. Braves with an early lead over the Red Sox on this rubber game, final game of the homestand. We're now joined by head coach of the Missouri State Bears, Joey Hawkins. Why does that matter? Well, Drake Baldwin, a Missouri State Bear, and your first year at Missouri State was as Drake's hitting coach in his draft year. I'm curious, what jumped out to you when you first saw Drake as a college hitter?
He was definitely polished, could really manage an at-bat, made good swing decisions, and honestly, he just really needed to tap into his power. And if you look at his junior year, his draft year, what he did power-wise was pretty impressive, while still having more walks than strikeouts, so it was a pretty special year for him.
Now, you guys are in town because the Conference USA tournament is this week at Kennesaw State. Just ended the regular season playing at Kennesaw State. I'm not sure how often you get to watch Drake hit nowadays. You guys are in the thick of it, but does his swing look similar? Has anything changed, do you think, from when he was with you guys?
Yeah, I think it's definitely evolved, and I think that's what makes Drake great. He's always been a player that wants to get better. Always been a very mature hitter. So as he went through, low A, high A, double A, he was finding ways to make adjustments. And then obviously when you get to the big leagues, it's hard to get there. It's even harder to stick. And he's made some good adjustments, and his swing's in a pretty good spot, as you can tell with the early start to the season.
Yeah, you guys had a special season his last year. There went to regionals, trying to get back there again. What do you remember about that season and about him, and what was he like in the clubhouse?
Oh, he's always one of the favorites for sure. As the head coach now, he's a player that he embodies what Missouri State baseball is all about. He was always a great student. He was a captain. He was our catcher. Obviously, our best player that year, but just an all-around great dude. And he's the exact same person, even though he's still in the big leagues, and that's what makes Drake pretty special.
All right, so Drake Baldwin and you, ice hockey, who wins?
Probably Drake. I'm not taking myself going in the corners against him. He's a pretty strong dude now.
Well, you're from Toronto, so you got to rep for Canada a little bit.
Right, exactly.
All right, well, Coach, thanks so much for your time. Congratulations on a great year, and good luck next week.
All right, appreciate it.
Good stuff, and good to see the Bears here in attendance. Very cool. Saw that picture up at Kennesaw State of Drake going up there to meet and greet with the team and kind of give back.
It is hugely impactful when you see someone that has taken a similar path that you're on currently have this level of success, even to reach this level, quite honestly. And the fact that he spent some time with them and talked with the guys and then listened to some of those humble beginnings from those that knew him as an amateur. They love seeing what he has done now, and he's a great example. He's a great guy. He carries himself so well, and it's cool to see that he does that with the guys.
Missouri State, good program for those guys. Ryan Howard played there, Jake Berger, Bill Miller, former Red Sox player, and former Brave Pierce Johnson also played at Missouri State. So welcome to the ballpark, fellas, and good luck in the upcoming tournament. Nasty slider. Say goodbye to Duran. So Duran had the single and the double on an 0-2 pitch against Holmes. This time in the 5th, Holmes wins the battle.
Yeah, get him to 1-2, maybe a little bit more comfortable on that count to finish him off. But again, it is a really good slider. And what you see from Drake, excuse me, what you see from Grant Holmes and what he can do with that pitch is the way he manipulates it, right? That one had a little bit more horizontal, it was a little wider, still down. Sometimes he can throw where it goes a little bit more straight down.
What's kind of interesting about Duran and those 0-2 hits, Mitch sent me a note, CJ, that Duran was 0 for 20 on 0-2 counts on the season coming into the series. But he found something here in Atlanta on 0-2 pitches.
I'll write that down real quick. Mitch sends only notes to BG, not to CJ. All right, got it.
Mitch Smith doing our stats today. Gasper taps at 5.
I thought you meant Mitch George. All right, since
no,
Mitch
yes,
Smith, that's
yes.
a lot. I thought you meant Mitch George from PR.
No.
All right,
no,
cross that note off.
Mitch George would definitely include you. This should be pretty easy for Yaz. Bathed in sunlight, he makes the catch. We're halfway home. Fan favorite military appreciation ticket package is back Sunday, May 24th, so it's coming up. With the purchase of this ticket, you get a Braves quarter zip pullover, and $4 of every ticket package will go back to the Warrior Alliance as well for a great cause. Braves.com/military appreciation. Armed Forces Day yesterday, had a lot of pregame festivities here. Been a special weekend around Major League Baseball. That's why those players are wearing those special military hats.
And that guy right there on the right, that is Bryson Daly. For those of you who are college football fans may remember a few years ago, he went to Army, finished 6th in the Heisman Trophy voting. Excuse me. He's now stationed down in Fort Benning, and he's doing his officer training. He's going to go to Ranger School this summer. I got to meet him this past offseason at a charitable event. Really impressive young man, and I really do appreciate the Atlanta Braves hosting him today. Him and his wife Conley, very excited to be here and enjoying it, and a very impressive young man.
Oh, that's awesome, and appreciate him and his service. And the Braves and you making sure he had some good seats down there.
Well,
today.
you know, I wish I had that kind of pop. I just asked, and the Braves came through once again. They're so tremendous, and appreciate, of course, everything that everybody does for our country. So very nice opportunity for them. I actually got to meet him at a foundation event that I went to. It's called the TK Foundation, where they basically serve Gold Star families, make sure those families are doing really well, and provide support for them. And so just an amazing group, and it was a cool night to be able to meet him, and glad he could drive up a couple of hours to catch a game today.
Yeah, good stuff all the way around. Looper down the line. That went further to the left of the line than I thought, but Duran able to get over there. Austin Riley to the plate. He got the scoring started today. He absolutely tattooed that ball in the first. That's our Whataburger, what a play, as a 3-run bomb from Riley.
Good to see. We had talked about, and you can see the numbers and what's going on with Austin Riley. We'll take it back again to that Colorado series, the first trip of that 3-city road trip that the Braves had. He started getting it going, saw a couple of lefties. Now he's been doing the damage against the righties and really locked in. We kind of talked a little bit about what he's been working on mechanically and staying a little bit more level, and all of that has come together for Austin Riley.
Worked a lot with that man, hitting coach Tim Hires. Bayo is trying to save the pin the best he can. He's at 84 pitches. And there's nobody warming up yet for Boston. They've got to go to Kansas City for 3 after they leave Atlanta today.
Oh, do it.
Good challenge, Austin.
I think this is only the second time Austin Riley has challenged, right? He's been, let's say, tentative, but maybe just not that comfortable doing it. But I'm with you. This is a good time to pull it out.
The pitch has been changed to a ball.
So 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So clearly Austin doesn't want the strike called there, right? But then he's also such a nice guy. Does he feel bad at all for Hunter Wendelstedt? Like, hey, it happens to everybody.
Yeah. And Hunter, you've been in the game a long time. I didn't mean to show you up.
You tried your best.
Oh, Riley's in his zone. This is going to be extra bases. Rattling around in the corner, stand up double for number 27.
So it's 2 big hits, but it's 3 really good swings here this afternoon for Austin Riley. Remember the line out in his second plate appearance here today. That's the changeup at 88. Good downward movement, but down and in, and Austin all over it. And there's something about hitting. We talk about it often. It's hard. You're going to go through some rough spots, and they can be very difficult to get out of. And when you get out of them, you start to see these kind of streaks. And Austin Riley is on one right now.
Dom Smith out in front of the changeup. He's 0 for 2 today. Mentioned Dom's time with the Red Sox. That came in 2024. Played 84 games in Boston that season. Of course, long time with the Mets, 6 years in Queens for Dom Smith. Duran again going a long way. Look out for that tarp. Slid in there, and that foot hit pretty hard.
You know, he's got some great speed. That was a heck of an effort. He's smiling, so I guess he is okay. But you're absolutely right. That could be pretty dangerous, especially when you don't have time to slow down.
Yeah, to jam that foot and knee in there like that. He's hobbling a little bit as he gets back out there in left field. He's feeling that. Dom Smith up the middle. Riley coming home. 7-0.
It was just a matter of time. With Bayo's struggles against lefties, as good as Dom Smith has been this year, he got him the first 2 times. He does not get him the 3rd time. As you can see, an elevated 2-seam fastball. They're trying to go front door. They want that ball lower. They want it in. Mislocation turns into an RBI single.
And the Braves adding on here in the 5th against Bayo on his 27th birthday. Now Boston starts to get some action in that bullpen for the first time today.
So there was a right-on-right cutter. I feel like we haven't seen very many of those ever since Austin Riley took one out deep in that first inning. He really did seem to get away from that pitch, which I don't think was a terrible idea, but he breaks one out there against Mateo.
That ball squirts away off the backstop and back in between the white lines.
Some pinball going on back there. Did a little bit of hit Narvaez's shin guard, but it ricocheted, and then of course catching the wall as well.
Puts Dom Smith in scoring position.
This time in baseball, you'd be begging for that ball back. You got no chance of getting him now.
You love the scuff.
Oh yeah, it's gonna have a couple of marks on it. There was a time. Now you sneeze, they take the baseball away from you.
Challenge from Mateo.
I think he's going to lose this one, and the reason is he stands pretty far off the plate. It's a two-seam fastball that comes back and probably catches the corner, but it looks really far away for him.
The pitch is a strike, and it's strike 3. The Braves have 1 challenge remaining.
So Braves down to 1 challenge, and Mateo is back to the bench. And here comes Yaz. His great homestand has continued today with a single in the 2nd, that solo homer in the 4th.
We say he's 4 for 7, get him up to 6 for 9 now with 6 RBIs.
And that was after just 6 RBI in his first 38 games. That probably was a ball, but Yaz not going to chance it. Right field, and Abreu settles under it to take it. After 5, 7-0 Atlanta. Braves baseball is brought to you by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. By Georgia Natural Gas. It's that simple. And by Xfinity. Reliable Wi-Fi at one price. Xfinity, imagine that. Been a fun Sunday at the ballpark so far. All 7 runs for the Atlanta Braves, finishing off this homestand before heading down to Miami to take on the Marlins. The Marlins right now 4 games below 500 at 21-25. In the NL East, it's all about the Braves with an 8-game lead. The Phillies and Nats coming into today and even 23-23.
The Phillies starting to play much better baseball. Their pitching has kind of straightened itself out. I think we thought it was going to happen anyway. And Kyle Schwarber is on an absolute heater right now.
Yeah, 9 homers, 16 RBI for Schwarber in his last 9 games, really helping the Phillies turn things in the right direction. Two-1 to Abreu. Liner. Yaz backing up to grab it. 111 off the bat, but just a scary out. Speaking of the division lead, let's go inside the numbers brought to you by Hyundai. And the Braves being 8 up is by far and away the biggest lead in baseball.
Yeah, a lot of the divisions, there's some surprises there, right? Seeing the A's, seeing the Rays leading their divisions, but the Braves have absolutely taken command. A long way to go. We know that, and there are some good rosters in the division like Philadelphia that really haven't lived up to expectations, but something to keep an eye on going forward. It's nice to have that lead. You built yourself the cushion. Could this team go wire to wire and dominate? Sure, but generally there's going to be a lull in there somewhere, and that's where the cushion really comes into play.
They'll try to create more of a cushion down in Miami starting tomorrow. The Braves did announce the pitching plans. J.R. Ritchie will go tomorrow, then Martin Perez Tuesday, Chris Sale, and then Spencer Strider to round out the 4-game series.
And obviously the offense has shown up really big today, but go back to that meeting that Drake Baldwin had with Grant Holmes and the timing of it based on the history of the big inning that we had been talking about. That was what, back in the 4th inning. and things kind of calmed down after. He had a couple of runners on and only one out, a couple of missed locations. He got out of it, what, 2-3 pitches later. And now here is Grant Holmes pitching in the 6th inning. Like we talked about at the beginning, how great would it be if he could get through 6?
Yeah, with the 13 games in 13 days, the way the bullpen has not only been taxed but used, given some of the guys that have been swinging back and forth. It's a big outing today for Grant. I was wondering how the Braves would handle the Martin Perez thing, because he did come briefly out of the bullpen the other day, and he'll start on Tuesday. Originally, they thought they would use him Monday.
And it goes back to what we've talked about with him, much like Mauricio Dubon. He's up for whatever you want me to do, I'm willing to do. He was really good in that relief outing in the 1 inning with a couple of strikeouts.
A couple of balls hit pretty well out there, but Yastrzemski's able to make both plays. A message here from Alpha Insurance.
No matter what life throws your way, we'll be there knocking it out of the park. Getting you back home safe and sound. That's life with Alpha Insurance.
And a strike to Rafaela. Been a busy inning for Yastrzemski. He's getting his steps in, but won't have a play there.
Like seeing this pitch count too for Grant Holmes. You know, again, some of the outings have been a little bit shorter for him, but you can push. He's been up to 99 pitches this year, anywhere from 59 to 99.
Nobody throwing in the Braves pen. And it's starting to rain a little bit here at Truist Park. Yeah. And now it's really starting to rain here at Truist Park.
A pop up. Take that humidity out, or that, well, not that it's humid, it's a little warm.
The people just scurrying for cover. Looks like somebody set off the fire alarm here at Truist. And reaching infield single Rafaela.
Not sure it would have mattered, right? But the communication there, as we talked about earlier with the pop-up, and Austin Riley and Mateo again talking just a little bit. I don't think it would have mattered if either one of them really had a shot at it.
I think this is hail.
Looks like it.
Yeah, this is hail. Because a piece of ice just fell on my scorebook.
There you go. That's confirmation.
It's definitely not snow. It's 86 degrees. This is a first for me here at Truist. Have you experienced hail here at the ballpark?
Not at the ballpark, no. In my 20+ years of living here in Atlanta, certainly a handful of times we've had it.
Well, we're playing through it.
That's right.
Come hail or high water.
I mean, it's Military Appreciation Weekend. We're not going to let a little hail scare us off. At least not from the comfort of our booth.
Yeah, we're nice and dry up here.
And the guys from Drake's College are in a pretty good spot. They were up high, but now it's paying off.
Out to left field. This has got to be tricky. Through the hail. Catch is made by Azócar. Grant through 6, 7-0 Braves. Hail yeah.
Fortunately,
and protection your small business can rely on. No one does business like Comcast Business. By your local Ford dealers. And by the Georgia Lottery. Get a nice hit of cash with a new hit family of scratchers from the Georgia Lottery. The Our pets' heads are falling off. I don't know what else to say. We got a holiday alarm up here in the booth. Things are flying. Winds coming in. Rain's coming in. Everything was going so well. 7-0. The sun was shining, and then we had hail, and now heavy rain, and the tarp is coming out here in the 6th inning. Our booth right now looks like a war zone, folks. Trying to help close these windows up here. Yeah, he served a big role up here, keeping us safe and dry. Maybe we can get him one of these Drake Baldwin hockey jerseys as a prize for all of his efforts. This is going to be June 3rd. If you haven't seen this jersey, it's there on the screen, but Drake shows it off in stadium in one of the promos. It's really going to be cool. So Braves.com/promos to get your tickets and to get your Baldwin hockey jersey against the Blue Jays.
Kind of good time to have, I don't know, can we call him our hockey ambassador here with the Atlanta Braves and all the push to try to bring the NHL back to Atlanta? He could be the guy. That might be the face of Atlanta hockey in the meantime.
And fitting that you're doing it while you're playing a team from Canada and the Toronto Blue Jays there on June 3rd.
Probably no accident.
Drake will be due up second here when play resumes. So let's take a look at the upcoming schedule. Mentioned the 4 in Miami, then boom, back home and then back on the road. And the 25th is a big day because that's the Braves' first off day in 13. So you can kind of reset the pitching and hopefully get everything back in order.
And don't ask us why the game's at 4 o'clock, coverage starting at 3:30 on Tuesday. We have no idea. I'm like, wait, it's not a holiday. It's a completely random Miami Marlins thing that they're trying.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't mind finishing up a game early, get a grab decent dinner, but there's a reason why most games are not played at 4 o'clock in the middle of the week on non-holidays.
Yeah, they're experimenting, so that'll be a 4:10 first pitch, 3:30 on the air on Tuesday.
I feel like it's kind of a conspiracy to keep down Wiley's exposure, and I'm not going to participate in that. I won't allow that to happen on my watch.
They can't keep Ballard down. Everybody knows that. The other 3 games will be at a normal time down there at Lone Depot Park for Walt and company. Well, they're still trying to get this field dry to the point where the crew feels comfortable with it. So that 340 ETA that they had mentioned, we're going to be a little behind that. And 3 minutes and counting, but want to keep everybody safe. We'll take a break and be back with an update in a moment.
Can I help you, sir?
Here's the bill from the dealership.
Grind, and a lot of close games here lately for the Atlanta Braves. And when that happens, we get to that place where we start really dissecting just a couple of things from the game, and it almost seems unfair. And a lot of times it comes down to pitch location. For Bryce Elder yesterday, that slider didn't quite get it away enough. It was still down below the zone, but Contreras went down and he got it. And then the way the ball goes off of Chapman, you feel like he's going to make it. Kim doesn't. So the little things, usually the case in those very tight games.
But all in all, the Braves still in such an amazing spot, 8 games up in the East with a 31-15 record, trying to get that 32nd win today. They need 9 outs to do it. But when play resumes, the Braves will be at the plate, starting with Azokar and then that man Drake Baldwin.
It's an odd situation to see, right? Like you try to get the game time right. You got 2 guys ready to hit. There's still 15 ground screw people on the field right now trying to get it done. And you certainly appreciate their efforts, and it looks like they just got the call from, was that the third base umpire, letting everybody know time to get off the field.
Yeah, that's Nick Lentz, I think, that said, all right, we're good to go.
The dance off is real on the big screen, by the way. These fans have kept themselves entertained. A good job by the Braves crew to do that. There's a lot of people still here.
When the rain and the hail started to fall, it was everybody scurrying for the concourse. But because it only lasted about 20 minutes, thankfully, like you said, pretty much everybody has stayed. Some shirts have been removed.
Speaking of taking your shirts off, you see what's been going on in St. Louis lately?
Yes, it's a big trend here over the last few days.
Yeah. We got a little bit of time before we get to St. Louis. Hopefully everyone can get their wardrobe back together.
It's enough grown men with shirts off. Ryan Watson, after this long delay, is going to be the one that comes on here for the bottom of the 6th for Boston.
See the high ERA for him. 5 home runs allowed in 24 and 2/3 innings so far. Nearly that combined 300 batting average against. A lot of cutters, 4-seam fastball, 2-seamer, sweeper curveball in the mix as well. Another guy who's had his issues with left-handed hitters, and that's some good news with Drake Baldwin due up here. 351 for the lefties with a 901 OPS.
CJ mentioned they're trying to nurse Connor Wong back to health. They're going to get him in here for the 6th inning, replacing Narvaez. And for the Braves, looks like it's going to be Reynaldo Lopez in the 7th.
And looking hopefully for multi-innings as he's having that conversation with JP Martinez down there, the new Braves bullpen coach. Well, let's make it a day here for Zokar. A couple of doubles yesterday, base hit and a walk here today.
And that spectacular catch in left field he had.
It has been incredible to see what has happened with the Braves bench this year, and when they've had to plug guys in, whether it's injury, whether it's platoon, thinking about Mateo, thinking about Zokar, Eli White when he was healthy, going through that concussion protocol right now. All very impressive.
Everybody is as dry as they can be. The sun is back out, and we are ready to resume here in the bottom of the 6th with the Braves on top 7-0. And Watson 92 miles per hour on the cutter. 33 minutes the official delay today after the hail and rain started to fall.
I have to ask Wiley if he can find out from Zokar what it was like trying to catch that fly ball in the hail.
Isaiah Kiner-Falefa taking over at first. Yeah, he's the one that caught the fly ball off the bat of Meyer that ended the 6th before they covered it with a tarp. Looking up, you got ice pelting you. Now Watson, good start for him. 1 down. Next inning, the stretch will be brought to you by Georgia Natural Gas. Hopefully the boys in the battery, Nick and Peter, have been able to stay relatively dry.
Yeah, what were they doing during that? Hanging out in the Delta Club?
We tried to get them to go on air. We found out they were taking a nap.
Oh, there you go. Well earned.
Both asleep. I think Drake's Missouri State Bears baseball team made it through the delay. They're still out there in left center. Drake almost gave him a show, hit it to the wall in the 4th, but it was caught by Duran. Yeah, the boys are still here.
It's a little bit tougher, right, when you have the big group. Everyone's got to be on board one way or the other, or perhaps just coach makes the call. We're staying. What else do we have to do? Go hang out in a hotel?
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Sit at the Major League Park. When Drake went to Missouri State, remember his freshman year was COVID, so everything was disrupted. So he had an okay season, but they only played 17 games. And then his sophomore year was solid, but he really broke out as a junior. Had a tremendous year that led to the Braves drafting him 3rd round in the 22 draft. He fouls that off his leg.
I was having this conversation earlier today, but just about how difficult it is to scout hitters. In this analytics age and all the data we have, you can get some pretty good data on pitchers and have an idea of, what's going to play, where they might be able to improve, right? And you know how that matches up against big league talent. You don't know it on the hitting side. And obviously with Drake and the way his college career started and who he is now, it's been an incredible journey. And everybody passed on him twice.
The Braves thankfully got him. What a good one he has turned out to be. His second walk today. Ozzie 1 for 3 with a single. Speaking of college ball, Ryan Watson, this pitcher, he played for the Auburn Tigers, and he is from Auburn, Alabama, so he grew up very close to Atlanta. And he signed as an undrafted free agent with Baltimore in that shortened draft in 2020, and then he moved to the Giants organization a few years later, and then he came to Boston as a Rule 5 draft choice last December. Bouncing right off the knee shin area there of Ozzie.
He's a big fella too, 6'5", 225 pounds. He looks taller than that from here.
So he towers over the man at the plate, Ozzie Albies. Swing and a miss. Ozzie goes down to try to get the sweeper.
Pretty good one here. Good location. It's going to disappear on Ozzie. He sees it at the bottom of the zone, out of the hand.
So nobody has put the ball in play here at the bottom of the 6th. 2 strikeouts and a walk. Matt Olson sends this foul.
All right, so my idea that, hey, you know what, it's going to rain a little bit and maybe it takes away any humidity that is here. I think it's had the opposite effect. It is steamy.
Yeah, we were discussing it earlier, but it's that first kind of steamy, hot day that you get here in Atlanta towards the summer months. You can always tell when you look around the ballpark and you see a few people fanning themselves. Not as many today as we'll see later in the summer, but quite a few out there.
Be a good day to be sitting in Chattahoochee Falls.
Yes. Maybe with one of those $3 Miller highlights.
Yes, please.
Or just take your shirt off. Turned into a little splash park here for the kids when all that went down.
Now, kids generally don't want a rain delay. However, if it means you get to have a little bit of fun at the ballpark while you're getting drenched, it could be a good time.
Still 2-2 here to Matty O. Strikes out the side, works around a Baldwin walk. After 6, 7-0 Atlanta. favoring Atlanta with the bullpen coming on now. And Reynaldo Lopez, that leads us to the strong. Brought to you by John Foyt Associates. And the bullpen during this homestand has been fantastic.
So they have delivered all season long, but this homestand in particular, it has been a very nice run. You don't see it too often where the whip is actually lower than the ERA. Very impressive there, at least to that degree, when you already have an ERA that is under 1.
And Grant Holmes, great outing today. 6 innings, scoreless, 5 scattered hits. So hat tip to Holmes. Talked about him and the Braves needing maybe a longer outing, and he provided that.
Yeah, really nice job. And now it's up to Reynaldo to try to maybe have a multi-inning outing here if he can. I did have somebody ask me the other day, kind of what do you think the plan is with Reynaldo Lopez? And so, well, eventually you want to get him back in the rotation. We know how good he can be, but in the meantime, it's serving in that multi-inning role, maybe a little bit lower leverage, get him back to where he was. And then hopefully he's helping out in the rotation. And this is the perfect spot for him, that whatever it is that he's kind of working on right now, maybe the biggest thing is some length for him, right? If he could finish this thing out, now you're talking about coming off a 3-inning outing, you're getting a little bit closer to maybe getting back in the rotation.
A single through the left side for Andrew Monasterio.
Four-seam fastball here, 95 miles an hour. Just hit hard through that left side.
Now Connor Wong, his first plate appearance of the series. Comes up aggressive. Fouls it down the right field line. 6 major league season, all with Boston. Last remaining piece from that Mookie Betts trade back in February of 2020. Alex Verdugo, who was, of course, part of the Braves last year, was in that trade as well, with Jeter Downs in exchange for Mookie Betts and David Price going the other way.
That one always stings a little bit for Red Sox fans. It was going to happen anyway. It's one of those things that you get mad. You only look at the trade and say, how could you do it? He was going to leave via free agency. You got the Dodgers to take on a lot of David Price's money. You just missed on the prospects. It happened. It's difficult when you go that way, right? Where you have a big-time player and you're looking for as many top prospects as you can get, hoping that 1 or 2 are going to ultimately pan out. But it's a challenge. Didn't work out well with the Nolan Arenado trade when he left Colorado. Worked out really well Juan Soto.
Now Wong went. He is down on strikes.
A lot of risk involved over that. Take a look at the slider here from Reynaldo Lopez. We know that that is the best breaking ball when he is right. Fastball, slider. He's got that curveball in there as well, but the slider's always been the best.
And more recent memories, certainly Boston fans scratching their heads about how the Chris Sale trade has worked out, because it's been such a good thing for the Atlanta Braves.
You get in that rut, right? Unfortunately for Chris Sale, he was just having a hard time staying healthy for a few years. You have a chance maybe to have somebody take on some of the money. But the miss there, was how his season ended. As soon as the Braves traded for him, I went and looked. I'm like, oh, look at his last month. This looks like a little bit of older Chris Sale. And then as soon as he got here, he says, first time I went into the offseason healthy in like, what is it, 7 years or whatever it was. And came out of the offseason healthy.
And goes on to win the Cy Young for Atlanta. Olsen going to second to get the lead runner. The return in that trade was Vaughn Grissom, of course. Vaughn no longer with the Red Sox. He's now with the Angels and actually playing pretty well.
Well, the easy thing to do for Matt Olson would have just been to take an out over at first. But again, he's always so aggressive in hunting down that lead runner.
Two down with Sogard at first, top of the order, and Duran, who has 2 hits, including a double today. Some trade rumors this past offseason for Duran, with the Red Sox having a decent collection of outfielders, left-handed hitters. We'll see if that could resurface again at the deadline, given where Boston is at. Bouncer toward the middle. There's Mateo. It is time to stretch. Braves on top 7-0. Before we get it to Nick and Peter, Timothy Miller is back here today, and he is going to sing God Bless America. Enjoy, everybody.
America, performed by Braves opera tenor Timothy Miller.
While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
home. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Welcome to The Stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Service, savings, sustainability. It's that simple.
Welcome to The Stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Peter Moylan and Nick Green here with you. Peter, yet another great effort from a Braves starting pitcher. We saw good efforts in game 1 and 2 of this series. Spencer Strider really good, Bryce Elder really good yesterday. Now it was Grant Holmes' turn, did a nice job as well.
What a bounce-back performance from him, too. He established the sinker really early on, right out of the gate, which made these Red Sox hitters very aware of the inside pitches, especially obviously right-handers, and the slider was really good again today. And the consistency with it right the way through 5 innings to be able to carry it through just the 1 walk, another huge performance from him. We're going to break it down obviously a little bit later, but then take a look at the upcoming schedule, this pitching matchup we've got going, Nick Green. It's going to be unbelievable.
It's going to be good, and Martin Perez was scheduled to start tomorrow. He's pushed back to Tuesday because he pitched yesterday. Jared Ritchie versus Max Meyer in game 1, Perez and Garrett in game 2, Chris Sale, Jansen Junk in game 3, and Spencer Strider versus Sandy Alcantara in game 4 of the series. It should be a 4-game set that's fun to watch against the Miami Marlins. They haven't been playing great baseball as of late, but we'll have fun down in Southeast. We'll have all the coverage starting tomorrow at 6:30 for Braves on deck. Anyway, it's time to get back to Braves baseball. Peter, we'll be back for the post-game show. Here's a quick word from our friends at Georgia Natural Gas.
When it comes to natural gas in Georgia, G&G leads the league. We keep it simple with great rates that save you money. We even make it easy to reduce your carbon footprint with greener life. Sign up in minutes at gng.com. It's that simple.
We welcome you back on this Sunday afternoon. Had a 33-minute weather delay, but the Braves are on top 7-0, and life is good here in Atlanta. Four, 5, 6 for the Braves, starting with Michael Harris. Michael out to center field towards Rafaela. But this is where the damage has been done. From Riley down, the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spots in the order have 7 of the Braves' 8 hits today.
And it has been a theme, right? We've talked about it quite a bit this year for the Braves and the production that they have been getting near the bottom of the order. And Austin Riley, of course, more of a kind of middle of the order type of hitter.
Yeah, there really hasn't been a consistent lineup for the Braves. There have been a few different versions, and Walt kind of putting Drake Baldwin in the lineup spot some days. Some days he hits second, and from there you see a few dominoes move in different places. Riley's swinging and missing at that sweeper, so that's already 4 strikeouts for Ryan Watson. Hey, June 2nd, David Justice bobblehead night, presented by Truist, commemorating his Game 6 homer against Cleveland in the '95 World Series. Braves.com/promos to get your tickets. And you can also see more iconic Braves alumni featured in the legendary alumni giveaway collection the rest of this season. Always remember that homer. The only run in Game 6 when the Braves won 1-0 to get that first World Series ring. Glav pitched an absolute gem in that ball game and was the World Series MVP. A ball and 2 strikes here to Dom Smith.
Quick opportunity to say happy birthday to Valendia Brady, who turns 94 years old today. Roswell, Georgia. She is a huge Braves fan, never misses a broadcast, and we're happy to celebrate your birthday today. It was Brian Bale's birthday today. He turned 27, gave up a bunch of runs. She turns 94, and she can hang out and just enjoy it.
Happy birthday, and hopefully some cake and ice cream involved.
Yes. Oh, for her? Oh.
Well, yeah, us too. We'll celebrate with you. And hopefully celebrating a Braves win here in about a half an hour. Dom Smith had an RBI single in the 5th. He stays away from that sweeper that has fooled a couple of others.
It's been a good one. The combination as he uses that cutter as well, kind of the smaller breaking ball. Not that it's the same spin, but you see spin. And then one gets a little bit bigger and a lot slower.
Duran and Rafaela over. It'll be the left fielder Duran to send us to the 8th.
Jason. Braves in cruise control here, go to the top of the 8th, and Matt Olson has now tied Eddie Yost for the most consecutive games played, 9th on that list with 829 today. And guys, you know, looking back over the course of this streak, and keep in mind it was September of 2022. He did not start that game against the Phillies. He came off the bench as a defensive replacement at first base. There was no guarantee he was going to get in, but you talk to Matt, he attributes all of it to luck and health. And you talk to Walt, he says, well, you got to be pretty good to play every day.
Yeah, I think I side with Walt.
Yeah, I think so as well. You got to be a really good player to play in that many big league games. Forget about doing it consecutively. That's impressive to watch him continue to climb up that list.
Lopez is back out there for the 8th, painting the outside corner here, facing Gasper.
The hitter is challenging the pitch.
they are going to lose this challenge. Boston with 2 left, but might be 1 after this. Yes.
The pitch is confirmed to strike. 1 challenge remaining for the Red Sox.
So give that one to home plate umpire Hunter Wendelstedt.
This kind of turns into a pretty good situation for Lopez and for the Braves to try to evaluate again. Lower pressure situation, you can afford to allow him to fail a little bit if he does, where you get some space to get him stretched out, see what he looks like.
I'm sure for Lopez it hasn't been easy, right? He was thinking starter, starter, starter again. He had all that success when he first came to Atlanta as a starter, and then you're kind of flipped back into the bullpen, and I'm sure a lot's going on in between the years for Lopez here over the last month or so.
Well, his first 3 were pretty good, right? That first start of the year against Kansas City, he went 6, only gave up a run. Then it was a start against Arizona, went 5, only gave up a run. Both of those were on solo homers. Gave up another homer in his 3rd game, went 4 2/3. None of the runs were earned, 2 allowed. Like, he looked pretty good. But you also know he wasn't going to make 30 starts this year. And so you got to kind of pick your spots. And this is a good time where he had a couple of rough ones, weren't his best. Put him in the bullpen for a little while. But again, we expect him to be back in the rotation. A tough break for you don't want to do it twice in the same plate appearance, right? You got one wrong and you're like, gosh, I know that's not a strike, but do I really want to blow 2 in 1 at bat?
That's the one he should have challenged, but instead it works out for Lopez. Slow curve at 72 miles per hour off the bat of Abreu. 2 down. When Lopez had that all-star season in 24, he had not been a starter over the previous 5 years, so he had to work to get back to that. Had that sub-2 ERA for Atlanta. Now back in the pen and giving up a hit to right field and stretching it into a double here is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa in his first at bat. He replaced Contreras at first base after the rain delay.
Bat pitch, fastball, middle way, down. Just a good piece of hitting from the man known as IKF. It was right in the middle of everything that happened in that World Series last year for the Toronto Blue Jays, and the lack of a secondary lead by design and was a team plan. That play has been dissected as much as I think you can dissect any singular play. I think I told you this before, but to the point where I was watching a comedy podcast and Jerry Seinfeld was talking about it.
Really?
Yeah. He was more concerned about Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and just saying, can you imagine being him? And the attention, again, he did everything the Blue Jays wanted him to do. That was more on their end. He had a short secondary lead. You had a left-handed hitter up over at 3rd. Didn't make sense. It's a great play by Miguel Rojas at 2nd. And they got him by a half a step. If he takes what should have been a better lead, they're World Series champions.
But instead out by inches, and then they lose it in extras. And now he's with the Red Sox and down a 7-0 here as we head to the bottom of the 8th in Atlanta.
At night.
Most of the folks stuck with us through that torrential downpour, and now we make our way to the bottom of the 7th with the Braves in cruise control here. 7-0. That's the best way to take in a game. You don't have to put in any effort.
The old baby Bjorn.
You're just hanging on the front of mom. A double in 3 trips today for Jorge Mateo. Skies are starting to darken a bit. There are a few more thunderstorms in the area. So we'll just hope for the best here. 9 days from now, the Braves will be up at Fenway Park starting a 3-game series against Boston, the 26th through the 28th of this month, and then that'll be it for the 6 games head-to-head this season. So seeing Boston twice in short order.
That's one of those weird things we talk about it in the schedule. It happened even within the division with the Phillies. It'll happen again later. But the rivalry continues at Fenway Park.
Let's go back to Yaz and that homer in the 4th.
They'll break a ball down and in for Mike Yastrzemski. And again, he just continues a really nice run of getting some big hits. Lots of hits so far on this homestand. It's a little bit tough. The playing time can be a little bit sporadic. And I think when you have that left-handed starter, we're seeing Dom Smith get the first pinch hit opportunity coming off the bench because of the great job that he has done this year. But Yaz is making his case.
And that trip back to Fenway will be special for Yaz. Now, he's been there before as a player, obviously, but always nice for him to get back there where his grandfather was such a superstar.
Is that airplanes or is that thunder?
I think that's a little thunder that's approaching the ballpark. So get your laptop ready to eject.
We saw that umpire meeting. We don't like seeing the umpire ground screw meetings in between innings.
And it's happened each of the last half innings. And when that is the case, that means they're showing the umpires the radar, telling them, hey, there's weather in the area, be ready. Those guys.
That's our other least favorite sign. All huddled.
They're all huddled, ready to go get the tarp, and Watson's not helping the case.
They're lined up in attack formation and ready to jump at any moment.
Welcome to summer in Atlanta. It's a nightly tradition for us, usually through the end of August. So 2 on here, a pair of free passes, and now is Zokar. Laid down a beautiful bunt for a hit back in the 4th, right down the third base line.
I saw it.
Lightning.
Yep.
Some oohs and ahs.
Right field, way beyond. But the people that were oohing, awing were all to my left because they all saw it the same.
On a second for 1, little thunder as that play is made. They'll be at the corners with 1 down.
Sorry about that. I got a little tangled over here.
What happened there?
I don't know. I stood up and then my earbud just shot out of my ear because it got stuck on something and I couldn't hear anything. But we're back.
Well, after all the rain that we had in the booth, thankful that all the equipment able to continue to work through the rest of the ball game.
By the way, did you hear the explanation on Narvaez and why he came out of the game? It was an injury report.
What did it say?
Third right finger pain. Don't we have
third right?
We're going from great toe to now we had to count. And then where do you start?
Third.
You start with your index finger?
Well, hold on.
Isn't that the ring finger?
Line to center. Backing up. Rafaela. He has flashed a good glove the entire series. Takes one away from Baldwin. Baldwin will get an RBI. And it's 8-0.
A nice piece of hitting here, and you got a little excited there for a second because that ball had some carry on it. Hit 106 off the bat. That is a really nice play and recovery from Rafael. He's been impressive this entire series defensively.
Yeah, he is a good one. So is the third finger not just the middle finger?
That's what I'm saying. Where do you start?
Yeah, like I guess if you're not counting from the thumb and you're going from the ring, then or from the index.
You know what? I think, was there a bandage on his finger? We just showed him.
Yeah, it's the middle finger.
That's the medical term, not third finger.
I've never in my life heard that referred to as the third finger. But hopefully for Narvaez, he's okay. Sean Murphy, I guess, had an injury to his third finger against the Dodgers.
It's the one when you were a kid, if you're going to break anyone, that's the one you wanted to break. So you could show it to everybody all by itself.
In case somebody upset you, you had a reason. What we learned yesterday medically is that the big toe is called the great toe.
It's official.
Ozzie took a foul ball off his great toe on his left foot earlier in this series, but did not miss any time. 1-2 out towards Rafaela. Busy inning for him. He's got it. The Braves have another run. Try to beat the rain with 3 more outs when we return.
Ramos. The lefties, right, looking at 4 home runs over his last 6 outings, a solo homer, I should say 1 home run in each of those. And it really has just been about, again, left-handed hitters, slider location, so almost a little bit of practice here in the 9th.
Starting with Marcelo Meyer. Fouls off the first pitch. Yeah, maybe a soft landing spot here for Kinley to try to get back on track. In the air towards Austin Riley. Saunters over to foul ground and takes it. When the Lightning started last inning, quite a few folks have exited or at least gone to the concourse, as the clouds have certainly thickened, but hopefully the Braves can get 2 more outs here.
So is that science based when you hear the thunder, then see the lightning, or vice versa, and then how much time is between?
So
how far away
every
it is?
second is a mile, supposedly.
All right, felt like it was about 3 miles away then. So let's go.
It's gotten a little breezier here over the last 5 or so minutes.
Yeah, that initial steaminess that we felt after the rain, that is now gone.
Off the end of the bat. So a little pop to Riley, now 1 to Matt Olson. And the Braves are 1 out away from a series win. Friday, Atlanta won at 3-2 and 10. Yesterday, Boston with a dramatic come from behind win 3-2. And now the Braves really owning this Sunday here against the Red Sox 8-0. Started with a Riley 3-run homer the first, and Atlanta has never looked back. Holmes was dominant, 6 shutout innings. Now Kinley looking for 1 more out. But the ball game not done yet. Connor Wong with a 2-out single. And that'll give an opportunity to Nick Sogard. Sogard stays off that Kinley curveball. And with a win here, Atlanta will be a perfect 8 for 8 at winning series here at Truist Park so far this year.
So Carly just sent me a screenshot of what NASA says about lightning and thunder and how much time you have. My head's spinning a little bit because there's some velocity miles per hour. There's some feet per second. But the bottom line is count the seconds.
Riley out of room.
count the seconds between the flash and the sound.
Right.
Divide the seconds by 5 to get the distance in miles.
Oh, so I was way off.
I thought you were right.
I thought it's
worth.
Yeah, as soon as you saw the lightning, I thought it was 1 1,000, 2 1,000.
Yeah. Because as a kid, that's much easier. Who wants to divide by 5 when you can just deal with something like this thing right here? More math.
1-2 pitch with 2 down in the 9th. Sogard trying to keep this game going, and he does. Into the corner. Wong is going to come around and score, and the shutout is gone here in the 9th.
Take a look at the pitch. It's the curveball actually you get from Tyler Kinley. Not a bad one. It's at the bottom of the zone. Looked like maybe they wanted it either backdoor or buried. Again, a 2-strike count. Probably want that out of the strike zone.
And the rain has now started to fall with Duran coming to the plate.
So we talk about what it is to be a good team player.
Yes.
Jarren Duran, there's 2 outs. You're down by 7.
We're all in this together, Jarren.
Right. Who really wants another rain delay?
You guys got to get to Kansas City. The Braves have to get to Miami.
Do the right thing. Don't throw him a strike here. We've learned.
Yeah, he's really good at 0-2. See if we can put him away. Kinley is ready. Duran is ready.
That's a good 0-2.
Crowd booing, but do not think he went here. He held up. A ball and 2 strikes. Boston Red Sox with a loss here would drop to 19-27. Remember, they fired Alex Cora after that rough start. On to Chad Tracy. Able to win yesterday, but now Braves trying to take 2 of 3. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Got him! Ball game over. Braves win. Let the good times continue to roll here in Atlanta.
What a day it was. First of all, Grant Holmes getting the job done in his 6 shutout innings. We were looking for him to get deep. He did. The offense showed up right away, right from jump, and what we saw from Austin Riley in that 3-run shot to get the Braves on the board in the first inning, and they rolled from there. Another good series for the Atlanta Braves, winning another one. And now it's down to Miami for 4.
So the Braves perfect here at home. As far as series wins is concerned, 8 for 8, 8-1 the final today. We'll be back to Truist Park in a moment.